Hip and Hollywood back on IE Network. This is the Hip and Hollywood Report, and let's get to it. So it looks like Nicki Minaj will be going back on Joe Budden's Lil podcast. This will be Nicki's second time back on Joe Budden podcast, and there's a couple of things I want to mention, a couple of interesting things. Number one, if you notice, this is a screenshot of it. It's being recorded today, but it will probably air next week sometime. If you notice, at least in this picture, Joe doesn't have, his little helpers with him. And that is because when Joe did the interview with Nicki Minaj before and he had Rory and Mal, Nicki didn't take too kindly to Rory and Mal, especially Rory. And that's because Rory's a Cardi B fan. And Rory was talking slick. She didn't really mind Mal that much, but I don't think Joe was going to make that mistake again because all of the down moments really came when Joe had his two helpers with him, and Nicki wasn't really feeling him like that, especially not Rory. So these two guys he got with him, Joe's going to make sure that it's Nicki Minaj. He's going to be doing it alone, unless he brings them on later for a question or what have you. Now, if you remember, months ago, when I mentioned Queen Radio, this is something that I had heard long before anybody told me. I don't think anyone still haven't mentioned it. I think I'm the only person that mentioned it. About talks of possibly some sort of joint venture, because remember, it's not just the Joe Budden podcast, it's the Joe Budden Network. And there was some sort of talks, I don't know how far they went, but maybe they'll mention that in the interview, about Joe Budden and Nicki Minaj possibly bringing Queen Radio to the Joe Budden Network. Depending on if she can get a better split from Joe's network, instead of her doing it like on Spotify or what have you, that would be very interesting. You know Joe isn't going to stick Nicki Minaj. You know that for damn sure. And Nicki won't allow Joe to stick, to shice her. So if it was some sort of venture on there with Queen Radio on on the Joe Budden Network, whoo! I heard that was a possibility. I heard that months ago, and I reported it. I was the only one reporting it. Moving on to Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Tory, the district attorney, came out and said that they have evidence that points towards assault. So in a statement, sent over to Hip Hop DX, Los Angeles County District Attorney states that although we have legally prohibited from commentating on evidence and will continue to abide by that obligation, and our office is under ethical duty to proceed on charges which we believe can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, it said, and which have already been upheld by the judge after presentation of evidence at the preliminary hearing. The statement, we believe evidence, basically they believe they have enough evidence to get a conviction. Now, people didn't want that to come out because everybody was pro-Tory. So when that came out, people kill me when they say, oh, it's the defense, it's the DA. What is he supposed to say? Right. And that's, academics is Tory's friend. And a lot of people that were reporting, things about Tory, they were Tory's friends. So what are they supposed to say? So this is a classic wit of we have to wait and see. The DA says they believe they have enough proof to convict. Tory side is saying there's no DNA evidence. But that was not no DNA evidence. That was inconclusive. People have to look up words. Inconclusive means that they can't tell whether it was Tory's DNA on the gun or not. So that way you wouldn't be able to charge him with that if it's inconclusive DNA. But we have to wait and see what other evidence the DA has. So we will wait and see for everything to come out. If they don't have enough, Tory will be exonerated. If they do have enough, well, Tory's in a little bit of trouble. So what we have in Hollywood for the IE Network. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends.